Hello and welcome back to another review from Four Horsemen Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Life is Strange, a game that was developed by Don't Nod Entertainment, published by Square Enix, and it was released in 2015. Now Life is Strange is an episodic interactive adventure game, created by the development team at Don't Nod Entertainment, whose debut title was the brilliant cyberpunk game named Remember Me, which is mostly unheard of. It didn't produce a great number of sales and had mixed reviews. Don't Nod Entertainment filed for the French equivalent of bankruptcy after its release to, as they state, readapt their production pipeline, as Remember Me just hadn't been as successful as they'd hoped. This meant that the company turned to public funding and announced that they were working with Square Enix on a new game, which was later announced to be Life is Strange. It went on to win over 75 Game of the Year awards and listings, and as of May 2007, had sold in excess of 3 million copies. So Life is Strange uses a wonderful colour palette and art style. The characters and world design are represented like a watercolour painting. Eduard Kaplan, a talented artist who created most of the visuals for Life is Strange, stated in an interview that the art director had a pretty solid idea of how he wanted the game to look. He gathered tons of art references, from Alberto Mieglo to Phil Hale, where you have realistic shapes but a stylized texture. So from the beginning, the Life is Strange devs aimed to make the game look like an animated concept art. This meant that every image had to be painted, with every texture or prop being reworked before being completed in 3D. On top of that, the posters, notes, magazines and other items that you'll find lying around the world are also painted, which adds to the 2D appearance. So Life is Strange had one of the greatest soundtracks I've actually listened to in a game. Yeah, of course, that all depends on personal taste, but never have I downloaded the entire soundtrack of a game before this. I found myself looking for each and every artist separately through Spotify, and I fell in love with the majority of them. It includes the likes of Alt J, Sid Matters, Jos Gonzalez, and a bunch of other great artists. I'll be honest though, my understanding of music terminology and genres is appalling. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the soundtrack is predominantly indie/indie folk. I'd also like to mention the incredible voice acting in Life is Strange. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth about every single character, but I'd like to give Max and Chloe's voice actors, Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch, an honourable mention.
This was my real father's camera. I want you to have it.
That's so cool you remembered my birthday.
So Max is played by the adorable Hannah Tell, who basically is Max Caulfield. As you'll discover if you watch any interviews or behind the scene footage of Life is Strange, she portrays Max's personality wonderfully, and draws you into the character, making you want to be best friends with her. You'll find yourself feeling emotions towards her that you didn't think were possible from a video game character.
It's funny, to me, Hannah just sort of is Max.
Recording with Ashley is always such a masterclass. I love how she's so confident. She never holds back. She's never afraid. She just says it and does whatever she feels like is right, and that's really inspiring to me.
Now Ashley Birch plays Chloe Price, Max's best friend. You may recognise her voice from Horizon Zero Dawn. She plays Aloy, the main protagonist of that. Ashley does an equally impressive job of immersing you into Chloe's world, and by the end of the game, all you want to do is spend time with these two lovable rogues.
Now that we got that mushy shit out of the way, I feel like stage diving. Let's thrash this place.
You're crazy.
Yep, I'm fucking insane in the brain. Let's dance! Shake that bony white ass!
If you've played any of Telltale's episodic adventures, you'll feel right at home when trying Life is Strange. However, this isn't a game where you'll find action-packed scenes, fantastical creatures, or post-apocalyptic zombies. No, instead you'll be transported into a movie-like nostalgic teen drama, where you'll follow the story of a 12th grade student studying photography at Blackwell Academy. The gameplay is rather linear in terms of general direction, however you'll find that the story is heavily based around choices and consequences. Now, some of these consequences can be rather subtle, and may even go completely unnoticed. However, there are some more devastating moments that can lead to more dramatic changes, such as the deaths of loved ones.
I'm sorry. That was my joint.
Well, well. I don't like strangers in my home, especially dopers. So you're bringing drugs into my home. How about if I call the police? That'd screw up your spotless Blackwell record. You do seem to get around, Max. I'm sick of you losers dragging Chloe down.
You'll find that there's a lot of dialogue in Life is Strange, and it's here where you'll make the majority of your choices, with Max's friends, family and fellow students remembering the decisions that you make. A heavy focus on dialogue in games can sometimes feel cumbersome. However, I didn't feel this way during my several playthroughs of Life is Strange. I found that I was genuinely interested in what everyone had to say. As I said before, the game has a very movie-like presence, and will leave you at the edge of your seat, begging for more. When it comes down to it, Life is Strange is essentially 2 parts walking simulator, 1 part point and click adventure, with a dash of graphic novel. There's a lot of walking, talking and exploration to be done, with a heavy focus on narrative. Speaking of which, let's move on to the story. So your journey in Life is Strange begins in Max Caulfield's photography classroom at Blackwell Academy, in a small fictional town called Arcadia Bay. Things start out fairly normal, with it becoming quite apparent that Max is a girl that isn't very outspoken. She's shy and a bit of a loner. The story quickly turns from ordinary to surreal though, after a certain incident awakens a power within Max, and she discovers that she has the ability to rewind time. You're quickly introduced to Max's childhood friend Chloe, who feels like she's been abandoned in her time of need, as Max left for Seattle with her parents when she was 13, not long after Chloe's father died in a tragic accident.
I guess those changes included dumping me from your life.
That's not true, Chloe.
Bullshit. You thought you hook up with all these art pricks in Seattle. Didn't happen though.
You're merciless.
You've been at Blackwell for almost a month without letting me know. Enough said.
I just wanted to settle in first and not be such a shy, cliche geek. I totally would have contacted you.
I bet you don't use these sad excuses on Mr. Jefferson. Don't use them on me, Max.
The story continues to escalate as each episode goes by, with Max and her partner in crime trying to uncover the grim truth behind Chloe's missing friend, Rachel Amber. I want to keep this review spoiler free, so I won't be delving further into the exploits of this unlikely duo. However, you do need to know that once I'd finished Life is Strange, I felt a yearning for more. I needed more, as I'd been fully immersed into the story and fictional world that Don't Not Entertainment have created. Thankfully, a prequel was made, which came in the form of Life is Strange Before the Storm. Life is Strange has some pretty hefty consequences to your actions. It has 2 different endings, and tied in with the fact that you become so attached to Max and Chloe and simply want to spend more time with them, you'll likely find that the game just keeps pulling you back in. I've replayed Life is Strange several times now and gained 100% completion. I simply can't think of a game that I've enjoyed more than this in the last 5 years, and it definitely earns its place on my own list of the greatest games of all time.
Chloe, you're here. I'm back. Oh my lord, this is real. It's real. Oh man, this sucks.
Max, what's going on? You totally blacked out.
I didn't black out. I had another vision. The town is going to get wiped out by a tornado.
Oregon gets about 5 tornadoes every 20 years. You just zoned.
No, I saw it. I could actually feel the electricity in the air.
Come on, take a breath, okay?
Chloe, I'm not crazy. But there's something else I have to tell you. Something hardcore.
Talk to me, Max.